Hi, this is Gary from Next Actions. In this video, we're going to look at two online services that you can use to help you to deliver your message in a clearer manner. They won't help you improve the information. What they're aimed at is helping you to deliver that information in a clearer manner. Join me after the break to look at Grammarly.com and HemingwayApp.com and how you can use these to make your message clearer. I've now jumped onto the computer. So here I've got a document and I've just typed some text in here. The text, to be honest, it's not very interesting. I've just put it there so we can use it to actually do some work with. I will add this text into the comments, so don't worry about reading it. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to select that text because we'll be pasting it into the services as we go through things. I move over and we're going to start looking at Grammarly first. So this is the Grammarly home screen. It's what you see before you log in. You do need to have an account to use Grammarly. The account has two options. There's a free option or there's a paid option. I'm actually going to be using the free option just to show you the sort of things that you can do without actually having to pay anything. So I'm going to go and log in now. So now I'm logged in. It's the main screen. So the two options that you have, you can either upload an existing document or you can just go into a blank document and that allows you to then paste in the text. For me, because of how we're doing this, I'm just going to go in and click on that new. So this goes away and it gives me this blank document. On the left hand side you've got the Grammarly menu. We're going to go and click on that just to see what it does, and it literally tells you a little bit about the document. Gives you some options that you can use, so I'm going to close that. On the right hand side at the moment, well, it's not really telling us anything because we haven't put any text in. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go and paste in that text that we had. So this gives us the goal setting screen. First thing we look at is the audience. Well, it's aimed at a general audience, so I'll select general. Formality, I personally like to have my structure very informal, so I'm going to select informal. Depending on what your audience is though, you could use neutral or you could use formal. Domain, well, it's a general one. If I was writing a bid for a new client, I might select business. If I was writing a technical document, I'd select technical. The choice, again, it's down to you. And then the tone, so this is how urgent you want it to be, how you want people to be grabbed by it. I generally just go for neutral. And then the intent, well, what's it there to do? This one, it's there to inform people, so I'll click inform. Once I'm done, I'll click on done. So now we can see we've got our text here in the main body. Next to that is a list of suggestions. We'll go through those in a minute. And then right on the far right, it's got this assistant. So initially, we've got an overall score of 46. Now that's 46 out of 100. So that's saying, well, this is definitely needs some work. Down below, the goals, so we'll set 5. Then the alerts, so correctness, which as it says here, improves the spelling, the grammar and the punctuation. Clarity, helps to make it easier for you to understand. Engagement, helps to make it more interactive, so how's it going to grab the people? Delivery, that's the impression it's going to make on people, so that's hopefully how they'll read it. And then premium, well, we don't have the premium edition, we're on the free level, so this will give us a hint saying there's these things to do, but it doesn't actually help us. I'm going to jump back now into the alerts. So the first thing it's done, it's gone through and it's found the word ITS. Now that's not correct, that should have an apostrophe in it. So in this suggestions it said, here's a suggestion. I'm going to say, right, well, I want to use IT''S, so I just click on that and it goes and fixes it. Then moves on to the next one. Next one is, I'm going to use this. Well, it's saying actually the correct way to do it is maybe I'm going to use this. So again, let's accept that. And keep going through. It's picked up that I've done aisle with a small I. Now this one here, this is one I'm terrible at doing. I often put in order to, but you don't need to. You can just use the word to, and you're making it more complex for people to read. So here it's suggestion, change in order to be to. So I click on to. Now with this next one it's saying, well, you need to change your to you. But let's read the sentence. All this is done to show how you make your mistake. Definitely that's wrong, that should be you. So it's picked that up for me. So again I just click on you. Next, are able to. Well, that can be changed to can. It's simplifying that language. Again, we've got another are able to, and we're going to change that to can. Finally, after we've been through all that text, it's then showing us what the premium would have picked up. So it would have picked up some word choices, some punctuation, some formatting, but you have to pay for that. So this is my first move through. So I've gone through using Grammarly, and we can see with the overall score, we've now gone up to 78. So that's a really, really good improvement. So the next step, I'm going to go and select that text and I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to move over to Hemingway app. So this is another service. This one is free. This is the default screen. This is what you see when you go in. So it's got on the left hand side, it's advertising its desktop app. I've got to be honest, I've never used the desktop app. I always just use this as a web service. In the middle, this is the text. Don't worry about the colours, we're going to come back to it when we put our own text in. And on the right hand side, it gives us a readability. Now here it's saying for this text that they've put in, it's the readability of grade 6, which is good. When I'm using Hemingway, I tried to get the readability down to grade 5. So that's the level of a grade 5 student. The number of words, and then below here it's telling me what each of the different colours means. We'll come back to that in a second. So I'm going to go into the main body, I'm going to select it, and then I'm just going to overwrite it with my text. And look at the beautiful colours. This is telling us what we need to be looking at. What I like to do here is, you can see the colours over on this side. You've got blue, green, red, yellow, and I would say salmon. I'm not a colour expert. And I try to work through this in this colour order because I find that's the best way to actually get use of it, is use these triggers. Use this to help you. So we're going to start with the first blue word here. And here it's the word Grammarly. My sentence says, this is some text to allow me to demo Grammarly. Now it's saying here that the word Grammarly is an adverb because it doesn't really understand what I'm trying to do. In this case, Grammarly, well, that's the name, so I want to leave that. So I'm going to ignore that. So I'm just going to go up here where it says omit. I'm going to click on omit. Oh, that's got rid of it. I didn't want to do that. So let me Ctrl Z to come back. And it's brought it back. Next blue word down here is the word just. And it says here, be bold, don't hedge. My sentence, this is just some. And it's saying, well, get rid of it. So if I omit that, we go to this is some. It's adding some power to that statement. So it's really worth looking at these blue ones. Let's move on again. The next blue one, it's saying it's an adverb. I've got to use a forceful verb. So let's read the sentence. This is some dummy text. The does not really have much information into it. Well, really? Is it adding anything? No, it's not. So I can omit it. My sentence now is, this is some dummy text. The does not have much information into it. So getting rid of the word really hasn't detracted from the statement. But what this is doing, it's actually showing us one of the weaknesses of both Grammarly and Hemingway app. Because this sentence, it doesn't make sense. This is some dummy text. The does not. Well, what does that mean? The word the, it's wrong. What I need to do is change that because I've picked it up and I want to say, this is some dummy text that does not have much information into it. Oh, again, doesn't sound right. Let's look at this. Well, the word into, it's not right. It needs to be in. So I'm going to change that to in. This is some dummy text that does not have much information in it. That sentence now reads better and it's all white, so we don't need to worry about it. I've now gone through all the blue ones. So next I go and look at the green. So green, it's down in this fourth paragraph. All this is done to show you. So if I hover over is done, it says use the active voice. So it doesn't like the fact that I'm doing this and saying it as if it's in the past. I'm going to change this, so I now need to start rewording this sentence to make it more present tense. So I'm going to say something like, I'm doing this, and then I'm going to take out all this is done, and my sentence now starts, I'm doing this to show how you make your message clearer. Then now it doesn't make sense because Grammarly doesn't understand and Hemingway doesn't understand it fully. This should be something like, I'm doing this to show you how you can make your message clearer. So I'm going to add in the word can. Right, that's done. Next green one here is be changed. Again, it's saying use an active voice. So let's look at the sentence. By using these tools, you can see what needs to be changed and use some of the on-screen hints to fix it. Now you could leave it like that because it does actually make sense, and in this scenario I actually like it. Next one, pink. Well, it's hard to see the pink one because of the salmon red, but we've got a pink one here, demonstrate. Now when we hover over this, it says, well, this is a complex word, either replace it or omit it. Now let's read the sentence as it is at the moment. Using this, I'll demonstrate things like. Well, demonstrate, which is word saying is, well, yes, it is a very complex word. What we can do is click on show. And it now becomes, using this, I'll show things like. Makes the message that little bit simpler, makes it that little bit easier to read. So we've gone through and we've done that. If we look now, our readability, it's grade 7, so it's saying it's good. But as I say, I like to aim for lower. So next thing I'm going to do is we move on to the yellow. Now this is where it's saying a sentence in yellow, it's too hard to read, and it's giving us a prompt to reword that sentence. So the first one we've got, and the only yellow one at the moment, it's not here to teach you how to write or even how to present information, but rather it is here to help you to see how these two services work. What I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to split this. I'm going to split it by putting a full stop after present information, and then I'm going to remove but and turn rather to be the start of the sentence. So what that's done, that's split that sentence, that's got rid of the yellow, and it now reads, it's not here to teach you how to write or even how to present information. Rather, it is here to help you to see how these two services work. We've simplified the sentence by breaking it up. There's no more yellow, so next step we move on to the red. So we've got one red sentence, and this is where it's saying it's very hard to read. If you do nothing else, always try and get rid of the red sentences. So let's have a look at this one. Using this, I'll show things like picking up spelling mistakes, getting rid of words that aren't adding to your message, identifying sentences that are difficult to read, and using the apps to simplify it. Well, when I look at this one, I say, well, actually, this is a list of things. I don't need this to be one sentence. I'm better to do this as a series of bullet points. So let's look at it. Using this, I'll show you things like. So that's where we're going to be starting the list. So I'm going to put a colon because we're starting a list, and I'm going to move that to the next line. So picking up spelling mistakes, that's my first entry. I'm just going to put a dash in front of it. I go to the end of that entry in the list. New line, put a dash in front of it. Going to go to the end of that one, which is this message. Okay, then identifying sentences that are difficult to read. So that's the end of that point. And then finally, I'm going to put one there to be and using the apps to simplify it. So there we've gone through, we've got rid of that red. We've got the blue that we've said, well, we're happy with that. We've got the green that we've said, well, we're happy with that. But look at this, the grade is gone down to a grade 3 now. So what it's saying is, this is really easy to read compared to where we were before. So that's brilliant, that's what we're aiming for. So I copy and paste this. Now this is where I then go back to Grammarly. Because I've made some changes, I want to run it through Grammarly again. So Grammarly, we've started off before we went into Hemingway with a score of 78. Let's paste in that new text. Give it a second to think about it. It's just calculating. Well, the overall score is still the same. I'm now going to look down here at the alerts. So if I go to correctness, it's saying that's all good. Don't need to do anything about that. There's no spelling mistakes now because we got rid of those in that first pass. But we may have introduced some when we were doing the changes in Hemingway, which is why I always come back to Grammarly. Clarity again, we've got the tick, there's nothing we can do. Engagement, so this is saying it's a bit bland, so let's click on that. So this is a way of them actually pushing you towards buying the premium, because the premium does have a tool to help improve the way you're presenting things. I'm not going to make any changes because it's not giving me any suggestions. Delivery, it's saying it's just right. So we're looking good there. So again, I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to go back to my source document and I'm going to paste this in just below my original text. Now looking at this, you can see where we've gone from the text at the above to the text below. I will post both of these into the comments. They're there just so you can see the changes that spending a couple of minutes in Grammarly and in Hemingway app can change the way that your message is put over. It can improve the clarity and hopefully improve the results that you see from it. If you have a similar tool that you use, well, please, can you drop the details in a comment below? If you liked this video, please hit the like button. Do you know anyone who would benefit from this video? If you do, why not share it with them now? And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you can get new videos as I release them. If you're having problems with your productivity, then give me a call. Working together, you can get the results you deserve. Please reach out to me on 0415 591 672. I'm based in Australia, so please use the international dialing code +61 if calling from another country. You can also email me on Garry@nextactions.com.au or visit nextactions.com.au where you'll find a link to book a free, short introductory call. Do you have any topics that you'd like me to cover? If you do, please drop a comment below and I'll add them to the list of upcoming videos. Don't forget, like the video and subscribe to my channel so you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.